Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Live Album War. Today we got Chris Alo in the guest host seat over here.
Thanks for having me on,
again,
Pete.
thanks for coming. Appreciate having you on here. The fans love you.
Oh, too kind. Very humble.
So Chris specifically requested this particular matchup here we're doing as we round down round one of our lengthy Classic Live Album War tournament. So we've got Slayer, Decade of Aggression Live. Okay, and Pantera, official live, 101 proof. That's pretty potent, right? 101. This feels awfully light. Is the CD in there? Yeah, it is. Sometimes you're like,
oh yeah, absolutely. And this is
he's got the
alternate steelbook version of the Slayer live record, which is the opposite of the Pantera. It's quite heavy. I mean, you could hit somebody with it.
God, that's like,
and do some damage.
I could hold like 4 CDs and it probably wouldn't. That's loaded.
Yeah,
that's a heavy one. Very cool.
And it's just steel. That's it.
Just steel and nothing. Steel and a couple CDs.
Nothing but
nothing else. So all right. So we got this. This Slayer comes out. This came out in the beginning of the '90s, right? So this was kind of like a time where Slayer were, as far as like thrash metal goes, still kind of on top, not on top of the world because Metallica was up there.
Right.
But Slayer's still basically at the height of their powers.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this was Slayer at their peak as far as popularity. I mean, Slayer were, headlining arenas. In January of '91, I remember seeing Slayer headline Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah.
This was before they did the Clash of the Titans tour with Megadeth and Anthrax, which disc 1 on this live recording is the set that they played every night on the Clash of the Titans tour.
Wow. Okay, and a pretty decent set.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a great set, and then disc 2 has a lot of the classic material at that time that wasn't done on the Clash of the Titans tour. I think it's a great record. It holds up. As a massive Slayer fan, I think overall maybe a slight criticism. I think it's to me both the Slayer and the Pantera certainly are similar in that they have that live bootleg kind of feel. I think the Slayer lacks a little bit dynamics. It's a little flat at times.
But a pummeling set list.
Yes, great set list, great performances. I think it still totally holds up. I think it's great. Again, another slight criticism is the track list is so heavy on the Seasons in the Abyss record, which was the album they were promoting at the time.
Right, sure.
I mean, I would have loved to hear some more tracks off of South of Heaven or Rain and Blood. But
still enough of the early stuff to kind of keep, folks
absolutely
hooked. But yeah, one of those bands, and again, I think a lot of bands at that time were doing that. It was not uncommon for, especially in metal, for a band to release a new album in the early mid-'90s and play half of that album.
Oh yeah.
Right?
And I mean, if you look at the track listing, if I counted right, it's 9 tracks from Seasons in the Abyss that's represented.
That's more like 80% of the album, right?
I think it's just, is it Temptation? I think Seasons in the Abyss is 10 tracks. So I think that was Temptation. I think it's the only song that is left off of from Seasons in the Abyss. But other than that, that's slight criticisms.
But some great tunes.
Some great songs.
So going down the track list, you got Hell Awaits, Antichrist,
which is the 1-2 punch right there. I remember seeing them for the first time on that tour at the Orange County Speedway in Middletown, and just blown away that they did Hell Awaits into Antichrist. I was like, wow, this is great.
Yeah, Antichrist is such. Hell Awaits we know is great, but Antichrist is.
Yeah,
I
amazing.
love that first album. War Ensemble, South of Heaven. When South of Heaven album first came out, I really wasn't that into it.
Okay.
Because I thought for me, and I think we've talked about this before, after Rain and Blood, South of Heaven's kind of a little bit of a come down.
Sure.
But looking back on it now and re-listening to that album, pretty damn good.
Yeah, pretty good, and really for them, it probably was the right move, because how can you you can't.
You have to do something a little bit different,
You can't
right?
out Raining Blood, Raining Blood.
No, you can't. But, so South of Heaven, Raining Blood, Altar of Sacrifice, another great old tune.
Right.
Jesus Saves, Dead Skin Mask, Seasons in the Abyss, Mandatory Suicide, Angel of Death. So that's just disc 1.
Yep, which was their set on the 91 Clash tour.
So pretty damn good. So over on to disc 2, you got Hallowed Point, Blood Red, Die by the Sword, one of my favorite Slayer
Absolutely,
tunes.
I love Show No Mercy.
Black Magic.
Again, great.
Captor of Sin. I mean, these are great tracks. Born of Fire, Postmortem, which another one of my favorite Slayer tracks. Spirit in Black, Expendable Youth, and Chemical Warfare. Probably, I know our buddy Ryan Scow, I think that's his favorite thrash song of all time.
Oh, Chemical Warfare. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's
so great stuff, and again, the classic lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. This was done, right before Dave Lombardo would depart the band for more than a decade.
Yeah.
It's a great recording, and again, I think it was a similar matchup because to me there are some similarities. Slayer was at their peak in popularity with this. Pantera were probably at their peak of popularity with that. They both have that live bootleg, warts and all, very unpolished sounds to them. And Official Live 101 proof. All right.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the Pantera. To me,
recorded from all over the place, right?
Right.
This is like basically taken from like not a million, but a whole bunch of different shows put together as one. But go ahead.
I was going to say, my one criticism on that is the production. It's a little thin. When comparing it to all these other classic live records, it just doesn't have that classic live album sound. It's very thin. I think
it's missing a little oomph.
Yes,
considering how much oomph the Pantera studio albums have.
I was just going to say, Pete, I have it written down. It just does not. It lacks the power of the Pantera studio records. Absolutely.
And if you're someone who's seen them live,
yes.
They were never lacking anything. Live,
absolutely,
right?
And I was going to say, as a veteran of 2,000 concerts around the world, the craziest concerts at that time, hands down, was Slayer and Pantera.
Right.
You were taking your life in your hands.
Oh, yeah.
The audiences for both were insane, and that just added to the intensity of seeing both bands live.
Yeah.
The production on the live record is definitely off. Phil's vocals to me they're buried in the mix, which maybe makes sense because as you can hear on the live record, he's already having vocal problems.
Yeah.
His voice is already starting to sound shredded. So maybe that's why it was buried. To me, they just went too much for the live bootleg sound. And there's bootleg live records. There's actual bootlegs of Pantera that sound better than this.
Yeah.
So it just the sound quality really to me takes it out. But the performances overall I think is great. I love that
Dimebag is awesome on it.
No doubt. I love that they they mix some of the stuff together like Domination and Hollow. Like on the end of Broken, they go into By Demons Be Driven.
It's a great tune.
Great tune. It's just sound wise, I wish it sounded better.
It's a shame too that it doesn't sound better because basically this is like a Pantera greatest hits live.
Oh, totally.
I mean, the set list is killer.
Amazing.
But again, it's like the studio tracks.
Yes,
sound a little better.
If I'm going to listen to Pantera, I'm not listening to this. I will absolutely pick one of the studio records.
Yeah, and that's a shame because you got Becoming and 5 Minutes Alone, and This Love and I'm Broken and A New Level and on and on and on. It's just so many great tunes on here. But yeah, it's I don't listen to this that much.
No, me neither. Don't. And when I go, I got to listen to the two studio tracks similar to the Sabbath ones. And wow, yeah, these two, they're totally leftovers because they're just completely forgettable.
Yeah.
It's nice to have them on there rather than not. But yeah, they're just
But you see, here it remains. This is like something I think I've touched upon on this series before. I think that after you got past the '80s, live albums just really weren't important to bands in the '90s and the 2000s.
True,
it's really changed a lot. So back in the 90s, or even more recent days, let's go to the last 20, 25 years, a live album was released just to,
fulfill a contract or to be like a souvenir from the show.
Right. As opposed to in the old days where a live album was something special.
Yes.
Maybe it signaled a phenomenal tour. Maybe it signaled kind of like a changing of the guard.
Yep, an end of an era.
Something like that. And live albums nowadays are kind of like afterthoughts.
Yep.
And
lots of people don't buy them.
Right, they don't. Well, you don't have to anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Any band you see, you can watch all the live footage on YouTube you want. And actually watch the band for free rather than just listening to it. So, that's a whole other story. But
so, for, I guess, when it comes down to it, and we're at that part of the show, where you got to kind of choose between the two, to me, this is kind of like a no-brainer.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to pick Slayer, Decade of Aggression, over Pantera's any old day. And it's not like I necessarily like Slayer. It has nothing to do with my like for either band. It's just that as a live album, I think this does what it's supposed to do.
100%.
And this could have been better.
Yep. I completely agree. I am a bigger Slayer fan than a Pantera fan, but all that aside, if I'm going to listen to one of these live records over the other, it's absolutely the Slayer.
Yeah, I agree. And to me, it's fifth round knockout.
Not even a question.
Yeah, not even a question. Yeah, but decent enough, right? I think for the track list alone,
right?
Like I said, but to me, it's a missed opportunity. This could have been a mega great live album. But as it is, it's okay. It's good. Yeah. But this is definitely much better, in my opinion. But your opinion may differ.
Right. We could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, no, there is no right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. But, it's all a matter of preference, what we like, what we don't like. I'm sure we got a lot of Pantera fans out there. So let us know what you think in the comments below, which one you like, which one you don't like, what do you like about the one you like. And in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a little white circle with a letter I in it. Click on that. Vote for Pantera or Slayer here in this live album war. Go on the Facebook page and do there as well. And we've got, in 6 days, we'll stop counting. The winner will move on to round 2 to face who knows. We'll see how that goes. But don't touch that dial because we've got more classic live album war stuff going on this whole weekend. We're finishing up round 1, so we've got Chris is coming back for one more. Jeff Young is coming on board to do another handful of them, and then we're going to take a little bit of a break to kind of let these last few finish out their 6 days. We'll count up all the votes. I'll put together my bracket for round 2. And with all of our winners, in about 2 weeks, we'll start going on that. So in between, we'll do some other fun stuff. By the way, Chris and I are still, fear not, for those of you who have been asking, we'll
absolutely get to it.
We are going to do the history of Iron Maiden, probably be a couple-part episode, right? Just like all of our other ones. I just want everybody to realize that to do one of these is a big undertaking, right? A lot of research goes in, a lot of preparation. We've got to get our schedules together, but based on what we've talked about.
I got to dig through my attic for memorabilia.
Yeah, because he's got to pull all that stuff out, right? So, the plan is, as of today, is we're going to try and get to this sometime over the next few weeks, and I'm actually going to go to his place to do it. So he's got a kind of really cool man cave type of thing. Sure. What do you call it? Your entertainment area, whatever. And we're going to do it at his place because we're actually we're plotting something, a very special show, and I don't know when we're going to get to it. It's going to be in the works. I've been wanting to do a 5th anniversary of the Sea of Tranquility YouTube channel, and I want to do kind of like a big panel discussion thing with a lot of my esteemed guests, and I think Chris has the place where we can actually do it and film it. So that's what we're kind of talking about and plotting. So stay tuned for that. And this is on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're on YouTube every day. Chris, where can they find you?
I am the columnist for More Metal, which is a heavy metal column I write every month in More Sugar magazine, which you can find on newsstands, and it's a free paper in have it all the bars and restaurants in the Hudson Valley area. If you're not in the area, you can just read the contents of the paper at the website, which is www.moresugar.com.
It's a good read. Great articles, great interviews by this guy. He's got a nice kind of metal page that talks about all the recent happenings and album releases and stuff. But concerts. Also, there's a lot of listings for the concerts that are going to be in the area. So if you live in the Hudson Valley or Connecticut, you can go through and you'll see all the venues listing their schedules and stuff like that. So it's it's a really good newspaper. I dig it a lot. So Chris is coming right back, so don't touch that dial. We'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.